I would like to talk about more books. I would like to review more books, but the truth is, it took me 8 months to read the Brothers Karamazov. Check my Goodreads. It was like 8 or 9 months since I started this book, and I did not like it. It has been a chain, a chain around my neck for those months. Couldn't get out of it. Thought about quitting a few times, got to about page 200, 300. I am not enjoying this. I am not enjoying this. And I wanted to quit, but I persevered. Probably based on reputation alone. I know this book is held in it's held in high regard by a lot of people. And I'm not new to Dostoevsky, and I think that might be part of the problem. I've read Demons, Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, Notes from the Underground, and maybe it's that I'm getting older. Maybe I was a different person then, but I remember enjoying those books a lot more. The Brothers Karamazov, to me, having read those previous books, it read like it was created by an algorithm, by a Dostoevsky algorithm. It's just sort of a repetition and a recycling of everything that he'd written I think this was this his last book that he wrote? It might have been. I don't know for sure. But it read like just the same stuff that I had read previously. There's lots of histrionics. There's lots of hysterical outbursts. There's gambling. There's epilepsy. There's women who are like they have like the Madonna whore complex or whatever it is, where they're these low, unruly, cruel women, but then they also have these flights of just pure and good-naturedness, and there was too much meandering in this book. It's like 701 pages in this particular edition. No chapter breaks. Well, I mean, there's chapter breaks, but they don't. See what I mean? It doesn't like break up the page, so it's wall to wall book. And I do enjoy a story that breathes. Not everything has to be bolted onto the plot. Not everything has to adhere to the notions of a John Grisham novel or whatever. But this thing just ambles around. This thing just wanders around like a lazy drunk. It goes on about, again, like all Dostoevsky novels, it goes on about religion, goes on about Russia. I never get the Russia stuff, of course. It's all over my head. The religious stuff was not particularly new or insightful, both from in relation to the previous novels and in just a historical context. I guess all the ideas have been they've been well established in the last 100 years since this book was written. When was this book written? I don't know. 100 years. Let's just say 100 years. And characters Aloysia. The character of Aloysia. My idea for the character and his role in the story, in my opinion, was better than what it ended up being. What I thought was going to happen was that I thought Aloysia had killed the father. I thought Aloysia, knowing that Dmitri was probably going to kill the father, decided to do it, to take the sin upon himself before his brother could commit the sin. But really, the character just never really went anywhere. He's presented as this pure and holy figure, and I'm sure if you really struggled for it, you could find his relevance. If you struggled, you could find the whatever the emotional or the philosophical or the moral relevance of the character, but you know, it doesn't hurt to adhere just a little bit to these John Grisham notices or notions of plot and forward momentum. But Alyosha as a physical or motivational presence in the novel doesn't really do anything. There's this whole subplot with these kids that never really goes anywhere. There's a young child, a young sickly child who dies. And I understand that a lot of it again is supposed to exist on a sort of emotional wavelength, that you're just supposed to let it come into you and to absorb the whatever emotional wavelengths that are being played out. But it never really got there for me. You know, there's certainly interesting moments, but there's interesting moments in looking out your window day to day. It's sort of, you know, I don't necessarily want to read the novel equivalent of people watching, and definitely not at 700 pages. I don't know. Again, maybe I would have a different opinion if I hadn't read those previous just as thick novels, Demons, Crime and Punishment, The Idiot. They all look like this, if I remember correctly. They're all of this thickness. They're all of the same general themes. And I just did not have a good, enjoyable time. You know, you want to strike a balance, I guess, between something that's pleasurable and something that you can ruminate on, that has an afterglow, that you can subsist on. But this book didn't really fulfill either of those needs, really. What else? I understand. I'm sort of just talking about my personal reaction to it. I really don't have anything to talk about it. It's just the same old stuff. Not for me. Okay, goodbye.